Hi, this is Chuck. Welcome to our video question of the week. This week's question comes in from Jim in Virginia, and he asks, what suggestions do you have for cleaning up past due accounts? Well, Jim, what I would say about that is first make sure they are really past due, and past due in the eyes of your customers who aren't paying the bills. A lot of times we don't do as good a job as we can about the project closeout documents, you know, all the punch list equipment and everything that they're looking for you to do as per your contract in order to send in your final payment. So a lot of times the accounts we believe are past due really aren't as it relates to how the customer looks at that. You should also compare your aged receivables with our industry averages. Right now we're running at about 54 days is the average. So, you know, ideally you want that to be net 30 days, of course, and 45 days used to be the standard, and it's pushed up now to 54 days, which isn't great, but it isn't as bad as in some cases. A lot of it, or a lot of the attention, I think, should be this time of year as the year ends, is to take a look at what your receivables are as a percentage of what your annual revenues were, and you want to keep that number somewhere around 20% or preferably below 20%. So keep that in mind as well. Also, in terms of collecting the receivables, you might want to give some consideration to having an incentive for your AP person. Not that they would, go crazy this time of year and try to, use methods that aren't professional or anything to collect those bills. But there are a lot of companies right now that they're giving small incentives to people to keep that aged receivable number at a rate that's better than industry averages. So give that some thought. One thing to think about too is to separate your construction-related receivables from your end-user client receivables. There's a big difference there because of the construction process and the pay when paid kind of things that are going on. Is kind of keep those in separate categories, because you should be able to run 30 to 45 days on your end-user billings, but 60 days isn't uncommon in the construction side of thing, and there's a whole different method of getting paid. One of the things that our members are learning is that as they look into their contract closeout documents and look into the spec book, a lot of times they're finding where the general contractor or electrical or whoever you're getting paid by, they actually have requirements in the spec book that tells when they have to pay. So make sure that you go through every contract and look and see if the people who owe you money are out of compliance with their particular contract. And then there's a lot of things we can do from there with liens and other things like that. But good question. Now's a great time of year to start looking at your receivables. Spend this the last month in December, really cleaning that up and trying to get that as good as or better than industry averages. So thanks for the question.